Hey guys, welcome. It's Marcy, the Cranky Crafter. It's Fodder Friday. If you made it to this video, that means you've made it to Friday, and we're always happy to be at a Friday. Today, we're going to be working with watercolors. I have a bunch of like vibrant colors out here all ready to go. I've got my inspiration today from a couple people actually. There's a watercolor artist on Instagram. Her name is Chelsea Freya, I think. I'll link her information below. But she's doing like a Halloween series. And as you know, I'm not really big into like holiday crafts and stuff, but she was making these really fun, like wacky, I call them wacky. She was making like a haunted house, basically. But I thought we could just make like wacky houses. Because I also was watching Liz over at Buttons for Brains, and she just did a spread in her journal. And she was using like collage cutouts from a booklet that she had purchased. And they were little houses, and they had like different gals in front of them. And so that kind of like spoke to where my brain was at as far as like the houses. So we're gonna make wacky houses, and these can be absolutely any shape, any size, any color. Like this one's, you know, almost, it's basically a toadstool, but I'm like, oh, I could see fairies living in there, coming out in and out of there. And then we have this one. I don't really know what that's inspired by. It kind of looks like a lighthouse with a crooked top. I don't know, but that's kind of what we're going with. And then you can, you know, like put them in your journal or whatever and put little people next to them, or, you know, critters or pumpkins or birds or whatever. I mean, but I thought it was fun because you could make like a whole background. I don't know if you would join that one in there, but if you had several of the, you know, similar kind of ones, you could make them as like a cityscape in your background, and you know, that's where we're going. So I got a new 8-round. I did. Let's see. Here's my old one. Look at how good this comes to a point. Granted, this one's not wet, so I'm gonna, you know, give it the benefit of the doubt for that, but it never would have come to this point. So I'm excited to have a new one. There was a thing going at Michael's where if you ordered your stuff online, you could either have it shipped or like go to pick it up. But if you did it all online, you saved 40% off your entire purchase, as opposed to normally it's just like one item. So I'm like, I can do that, and I can just run in and pick it up. And so that was fun. So I got this. And then I also, have you guys used a dip pen before? I think they're for like calligraphy. That's what they're supposed to be for, which is kind of bougie and won't be happening on this channel. But I saw on Allison Bomber's channel, you know, and she's like a legit famous artist. Instead of using like white gel pens or acrylic markers or whatever, which are very temperamental and fickle when it comes to watercolor for some reason, she started using a dip pen and just using white. This one is bleed proof white, but you could probably use any acrylic paint or ink or whatever, using that for her detail instead. So I've only tried it a tiny bit when I did this one. I'm in no way an expert at it, and I have room for improvement for sure. But the fact that it just goes on so easily without any like breaking or, you know, bare spots, or the pen just it just stops working, and then you're like, okay, well, what do I do now? So that's where we're at. But let's do some houses. Look how gross my water is. That's great, huh? Yeah, I should have cleaned it out. Did I? No, I didn't. So let's start. Let's just start. And you could do these absolutely any color, any size. Yeah, like, what's that saying? The world is your oyster. Is that right? Doesn't sound right, but I'm going to say it what it is. I'm going to say that's what it is. So let's, you know, just start. And then I kind of leave like a line there, like leave white wherever you want, like maybe windows or a door. I don't know if a door would be right in the middle of the house like that, but this is gonna be like, let's make it 2 windows. And I think the wonkier shape the window, the better, because these are wacky houses, you guys. And then you can come in and give it any kind of roof you want. Super pointy, not pointy, totally up to you. Add some little points on the end, like where the roof comes out like that. Mine is pretty much dry already, so I'm gonna wet it again so that I can drop in some color, just because I like to do that. Absolutely don't have to. There's like a blue here. Just drop in. And like all of these Fodder Friday, when you add the ink work, that really like makes a big difference. Okay, let's make a second one on here. Should we make a second one? Like maybe it's gonna come up like this. And then maybe you'll have a pointy roof, a little smaller one. Put a window there. And then you can think about who might live in that house. Somebody a little bit wacky, I'd bet. Okay, so then just let that dry. Move on to another one. What color do we want to use now? Maybe, oh, let's use this. It's like a lime green almost. Chartreuse, maybe? Maybe we'll just do a single one. And then maybe it's got like a really like super curvy like that. And I'm gonna leave that triangle up there for like a triangle window. Whoa, that's fine. I'll just, you know, trim that out whenever. Let's see. Do we want to put like a little pink in there? Does that go? I don't know. But we're committed now. All right, what color now? Maybe purple. Maybe purple. Maybe like one super tall one. Let's do a super tall one. well, I didn't really leave too much room for a roof. So apparently it's going to be not a very big roof. And then how about we make like windows like that? That. It's like a mushroom tree house. And how are we going to finish this roof? It's going to be a little bit like crooked because I did not leave enough space. It's fine. Let's see. We want like a curved window, because whoever lives here is really good at woodworking, and they made a curved window. Nobody else has one, so they're like the envy of the neighborhood. Yeah, I think so. And then I'm going to drop in some blue because I can. Don't have to, but I can. So I think the trick with these, not that it's like a trick, but I think like when you go to use them, it would be fun if you had similar ones, similar shapes when you go to put them together. So like maybe make like several sizes of mushroom tree houses or whatever that is. Okay, let's turn it this way. Or maybe we could make, no, let's turn it this way. All right. Well, what color do we want? How about pink? How about magenta? I think it's magenta. And we'll do like, Marcy, see, I need to leave more room for the roof. I get too overzealous. And this one's gonna have it's like an arrow. Oh boy. Oh boy. We'll leave a little window up there. And then how about we make a really tall, skinny door? Like that. Okay. That can be 2 windows. Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. Am I having fun? Yes. So, oh, bugger. Well, it's going to be an even skinnier door now. If your paint dries out before you have time to drop anything in, if you want, just go back over it a little bit to make it damp. I have to do that almost every time. Okay, what are we thinking about that? Those are four very different houses. Okay, hold please. Okay, while I had you paused, I had a couple that were drying before I started. And so we got that one, this little fun one, and this little red skinny one. So what we're gonna do now is basically just embellish these however you know, see fit. Now I think the wonkier, the better, if you ask me. So my lines are gonna be super loose. I mean, that's generally how I do it anyway. But specifically with this, I want them to be wackadoodle. And then I try not to do the windows straight. And you could put, you know, like that traditional little cross in there to make it look like, you know, a typical window, I guess. And then you really just do this to your heart's content. And you know, I just had an idea what would be super fun is if you ran some of these through your sewing machine. Maybe I'll do one at the end and just did some like stitching around it, the edges. Oh, that would be fun, I think. That, if you wanted to add doors, like this one, I put a little round door. Totally add a door if you want. I think I think I'll outline all of them first. And then we'll come back and decide. Like, you know, do we want dots or whatever? This one can be like, that's fun. I almost always double my ink work. I just like the texture of it. This one, I'm not really sure about this one, but maybe when it's amidst other ones, similar ones, maybe it kind of looks like a bird feeder, to be honest. Oh my gosh, you guys, I said bird feeder and that's what, oh my gosh. Okay, so yesterday I had like, you know, was out and about running errands. Maybe we want that like that. Anyway, I stopped to pick up some bird seed. I love feeding the birds outside. It's just kind of expensive, but it's like non-mess bird seed. Like you don't get all of the like weeds and stuff growing under. Anyway, so I went to pick it up and I'm like, this will be the first time in a bit, because when the husband was unemployed, we didn't get to, you know, buy luxury stuff like that because we were, you know, just being frugal. And so, oh, this one's fun. All right. Now you can decide, like, what do you want to do to it, you know, to like give it some oomph. Let's try this white stuff, this white one, while we're here. So I'm just gonna open this up a little bit, and I think I'm just gonna, oh, this water is super dirty. That's probably way more than I need, but I'm going with it. And then I'm going to spray a little bit. Okay, then I got my dip pen. And from what I could understand, because there was no instructions, is, well, I'll mix this up a little bit, but this flat side is what you run, you like, how to get your ink on there inside the little pen. And then when you go to use it, you draw with the flat side up. Does that make sense? Excuse me. Let's see. How about we try, am I on screen? I am. Maybe like some vines. I like a good botanical. And then you just use it like your pen. And when it runs out, you dip it again. And that's how you do it. Is that the right way? Huh. Do I know? Nope. I don't know. But that's the way that has produced a result for me. I could probably go on to some YouTube channel and find out what like the real way is, or you know, the right way. But I'm just super stoked that there's no like clogging of the little ball on the end of your pen, or you know, nothing like that. And that's great. Okay, let's see how we want to do this. Maybe we can come down like that. So I should probably turn it this way. Did I have to do that? Probably not. And you have to be pretty light on your pressure is what I'm figuring out. Because the little, like the quill, is that what this thing's called? It's actually a little bit flexible, which is good, but you don't need to press very hard. That's what I have discovered. But I think it's working like a charm. Maybe we'll just do 2 on this one. Okay, so yeah, my story. I stopped and got the bird seed, got home. I'm like, it's nice outside. How about we, you know, pull the feeder down, clean it up. Great, great. That sounds like a great idea. So bring the feeder in, because I'm like, it's been out there for a bit, and it probably, you know, in my brain, I'm like, I'm gonna wash it with some Dawn dishwashing liquid, and it's gonna be all fresh and sparkly new for the birds when they realize that. Sorry, I'm like trying to stay in frame and not get it into the white puddle of paint. Okay, that's fun. And if you wanted, you could do a black, maybe we want to do like, you know, put a like roof line if you wanted to. That's fun. All right, maybe this one gets polka dots. because we love a good polka dot. So, I keep getting distracted. Bring the feeder inside. I'm over the kitchen sink. I've got everything, you know, ready to go. It's honestly, it looks like this. That's what made me think of this story, because it's like a cylindrical, is that a word? And then it has a little like rounded top, and the top pops off, and you pour in the seed into the cylinder, and then you put the lid back on, and it has like a round hook, you know, or like where you hook it. So I pull off this part, the little top part, and it's filled underneath the lid with wasps. Yes, that's right. So I'm inside my house, in the kitchen, over the sink, and I pull that over, and there's wasps. There's probably like 20 of them in the upper portion of the lid. And then they start crawling on my hand. Ugh. And so I'm like, oh my goodness. So I make a very quick and somewhat rash decision, and I shove the top of the lid down into the garbage disposal. It fits like perfectly in there, amazingly enough. And I use the kitchen sprayer, and I'm getting water everywhere, like all over the kitchen counter, all over my paper towel, all over anything that's in reach. It's getting doused with water. And I got them all into the garbage disposal, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can breathe a little bit more. Let's do some white. Do we want to do? No, I don't want to do that. I was thinking this one might be fun to kind of trace around the little blooms. So we'll go back to this, see how it does on that kind of technique. I don't know. Okay, it's pretty good. I don't think this definitely is not going to be like a fill it in kind of thing. So we would use this for the detail work, and then if you want to fill that in with white, I would suggest using a different acrylic, like a white acrylic marker of some sort. So at this point, I have the bird feeder upside down in the garbage disposal, and all of the wasps in the garbage disposal. How long do you think that lasted? Yeah, not very long. And so now the wasps are starting to climb out of the garbage disposal. I'm trying not to freak out because, you know, it's not like they're friendly critters. So I pull out the bird feeder, set it on the counter. The wasps are still climbing out, and I spray them with water again, get them down in there. And yes, I did. I turned that garbage disposal right on. Yes, I did. And I let it go for like super long time. Yes, I did. Super long time. Whoa. Because I'm like, no way, Jose. You're not staying in here with me, pals. Not happening. Oh boy, you guys, that was something. So then I got them all. I pretty much, you know, put them all in the, sorry, that's really loud, garbage disposal, ran the garbage disposal, and I'm like, okay, I need a break. I need to step back a second. And I went into the sunroom and read for a little bit, and the whole time I'm thinking, what if they aren't actually dead? What if they start flying back out of the garbage disposal again? So needless to say, I thought for sure I was going to have nightmares about wasps all night long. I didn't. I didn't, but I thought for sure that I was going to. Yes, I did. I think we can be done with the white. And I'm going to wipe it up so that I can move my paper back this way. If I need more, I'll get more out. And you know what else would be cute? Is if you know, like when we did the moths and we kind of stamped over stuff. That would probably be cute too. But this one will kind of just trace these shapes. Just because it's a little fun. So yeah, that was my excitement, and I haven't had any birds yet that I've seen today. Now, there could be some out there now, and I'm not seeing them because I'm in here with you. But I was running so much the garbage disposal for so long that my husband came downstairs and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, there were wasps and this, like I had to go through the whole thing. I'm like, the whole story. And so I said, why don't you look in there and see if there's any more in there, as I was cleaning off the counter. And he looks at me and he says, no. Like, just very matter of fact, like, okay, yeah, I get it. No, I understand. I'll do it. But they were all gone. Oh boy, you guys, there's always some kind of adventure going on here. But we put a little handle on that door like that. And then if you, you know, like this one, since it's got some like organic edge to it, if you wanted to put like more flowers when you were putting it into your journal or whatever, like so that it looks like it's kind of setting down in, you know, nature. I don't know. That sounded kind of fun to me. All right, let's cut them out. This one looks like it has cow spots. Spots of a cow. Okay, let's cut them out. And you could do splatters. So splatters would be fun. So many possibilities. And now I'm going to have to, oh boy. I'm going to have to find some super cute people or whatever. Maybe I'll go onto Etsy and see, you know, because you can buy like digital printouts or whatever. Heck, you can probably find some for free somewhere. But then I could do a spread in my, I could even put it in my nature journal if I wanted to. Especially these ones that look like toadstools. I think that could count. Toadstool houses. That surely has to count as nature, right? Maybe with some fairies. Ooh, or maybe with like, lightning bugs. Do you guys call them lightning bugs or fireflies? We grew up calling them lightning bugs. We don't have them here, and it's very sad. Like, my youngest, I'm not sure if he ever really had the fun of, you know, sitting out on a warm summer night. At least not that he remembers, because we moved here when he was just turning 3 or 4. You know, you sit outside and in the backyard in the dark, and you're watching them blink all over. And if you grew up with them, you probably tried to catch them in jars and keep them alive, and you didn't, and they ended up dead in the morning. And it was traumatic, but it was like, you know, what's that word? It was like, I can't know. My brain doesn't work anymore. Not a benchmark, like a rite of passage. There you go. I found it. I said it. I finally found it. It took me a while. All right. See, so we got, you could probably do these two together. They're similarly shaped. You could do these two together if you wanted. Or, you know, do a 3. Okay, come on. How cute is that? All right, what else? You could do these two. They're similar. They don't have to be similar, but in my brain, it just kind of works out better if they are. This one looks like a cow toadstool. A toadstool, maybe there's a cow. Maybe a cow lives in there. A cow wouldn't fit in there, Marcy. That's ridiculous. Maybe it's a little tiny bitty cow that fits in there. And then we have this one. So you couldn't do, you know, these two together like this. Yes, you could. And see, that would be so fun. And it doesn't even matter if like if you use a person and it's like bigger, because that just adds to the wackiness. Just adds to the wacky meter. Yep. So that's what we got. This one, I don't know, but we're going to go with it. Okay. Another Fodder Friday in the wraps. That's not right. It's a wrap. Why do I have so much trouble with that? I can't know. Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you make some really fun, wacky houses. I want to see them if you do. I'll link the gal from the, you know, that was my inspiration. These would be fun to have a few like single ones all in a row. I know it looks like an arrow, but you know, all in a row of different sizes. That would be fun with people behind it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. And so let's see, what's today? When you see this, it'll be Friday. And then Saturday, I'm going to be drawing the winner for the giveaway. So Friday, when you watch this, if you haven't commented on the giveaway video, or if you're not subscribed, please do so, because you have to be subscribed in order to be eligible. I'm going to put everybody's name in like the little random spinning wheel thing, and it will pick a winner for us, and I will send that person a bunch of different Fodder Fridays, all different ones, a whole collection of them. Domestic or international, totally fine. But the trick is you have to email me once the winner has been announced. And I'll tell all this again when I do the drawing. So that's it for me. Hope you guys have a great Friday, and I'll see you next time.